At 2 o'clock on a pretty busy afternoon here as we get going into the final couple hours of what has been a very kind of back and forth trading session. We get this very dramatic pullback on what seems to be an escalation of what is happening over in the Middle East. I do have this stream up and I'm watching it right now. We're expecting comments from President Biden, who is an hour behind his scheduled 1 p.m. time. But that obviously under the current situation is to be expected. Yeah, you saw GM there, 1.3% in positive territory still. We had a nice little pop to the upside. They've reached an agreement in Canada, anyways, a labor agreement to get back to work, it seems, over in Oshawa at this point. So we'll keep an eye on some of these automakers this afternoon, holding up quite nicely right across the board overall. I want to mention this one as well, BAC. 3.25%. Banks very strong here this afternoon as we head into the final 2 hours. Again, earnings to come on Friday from some of them. BAC is not one of them. They report on the 17th, but earnings coming up at the end of the week, obviously, to kick off earnings season on Friday. Tesla here, 1.6%, standing out as relatively strong. Same story for NVIDIA. It's been that way most of the day, along with AMD there, 1.8 and 1.6%, as you were hearing both Sharif and Adara talking about. Apple downside slightly, Microsoft downside slightly, Google 0.5%, Meta with a nice day, 1.3%. You can see, look at the banks, the entire group pretty much in positive territory. JP Morgan, Berkshire there as well, but BAC standing at 3.25%. Again, President Biden more than an hour late at this point for this scheduled 1 p.m. Press conference on what's happening over in the Middle East. Again, that we're just joining a little bit late here. That violent move down we had going back an hour ago or so in the overall market seemed to be on some escalating headlines coming out of what's happening over in the Middle East. Just an absolute horrifying situation, but we'll keep an eye out. I'm going to listen to this press conference, see if anything else happens, make sure everyone knows what is going on. But you can see on the daily chart anyways, we're getting a bit of a wick now, top end of the daily chart candle on the Qs, still green on the day, obviously, but major indexes, very much paying attention to yields and very much paying attention to any kind of headlines related to what we were discussing. GM, as I said, with a Unifor agreement. So in Canada, it looks like they're going to get back to work anyways. Still watching that INO to the upside in a big way. AVPT, another little one moving around. Palantir, what an afternoon it's been for Palantir. Let's get into what we were discussing if you're with us in the first hour this morning. I mean, it seems like a long time ago, but we were talking about some of these Chinese ADRs back to the upside today on more talk from Chinese government officials about stimulus. So yeah, Baba with a nice day. Pick one, JD.com, PDD. Billy was up 7% at one point today. As far as ADRs are concerned, but nice look for some individual names today, guys.
So like you're part of the capitulation.
All right, welcome back. Yeah. How was lunch?
It was all right.
Did you like that English cod?
No, I just had my own lunch.
We had tuna on the salad, so for me,
awesome.
That's my favorite. I like the tuna salad. On top of the salad, you get like a little dollop of the tuna, mix it in with the salad there, get some cucumbers, some tomatoes on that. I think there was a little bit of couscous action or something on there. All righty then. Wow, what a drop that was. And we took advantage of it. You can see some of the positions we have right now. Meta's almost, was just 250 in the money. We actually took advantage of Meta and got something out there at 323. Like, we were like, okay, it dropped in. We actually got stopped out the first time. That was just in and out at 320. And I'm like, what? Like, we just dropped down $3 and I'm going to scalp out for like 20 or 30 cents. That's not the style that I'm trying to do. So once I realized that, we gave us a little bit of a wick bottom there on Meta. You can see right into there. So see, we just bought here, 320.20, breaks 320, we get out. That's crap. And then that little bottom wick there, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't try it again. Let it go all the way. So we held some, right? We held some, let it go all the way back up. Then it came in, filled us again at that same spot. And then it's off to the races with Meta. Now $2 plus in the money on that one. And Obi went into a meeting there just before 1 o'clock, I guess, or just before 12:30. I'm not even sure what time it was, Obi. 1 o'clock meeting, yeah. So, and I said to him, because he was messaging me while he was in the meeting, of course, and was saying, you know, kind of, of course, he has to go when this move happens. And I mean, first of all, you shouldn't have covered going into the meeting. That's
Yeah,
the first
no.
mistake. I can talk about that with you after. But the second part was, and I just said to Obi, it's like, you can do whatever you want every single day, right? The market is your boss. You don't have to answer to anybody else around here. Good afternoon to my wife, by the way. I love you. You don't have to answer to anybody else around here. Notice how I said that, Obi? Other than the market. So the market is the master here, and you can, and the reason why I say this, or besides that guy right there, Randy. Randy, I just got a coffee, but I'll take another one in a few. But I want to make sure I hit you before you're out of here. What time are you out of here today? Half hour ago? 3? Okay. All right, so just real quick. See how I get distracted all the time? Randy, what I was saying is that you see this trade here on Apple. Come over to my screen. Randy's looking right now. You have all these tops to come through. All you can do is get short against these tops. Then if the market crashes, as they say, Randy is your uncle or Bob's your uncle. You put the trade on. When it crashes down, you sometimes get lucky. And because you're here, my good friend, let's have a quick look at Tesla. When we were outside there, remember I was like, it's at the 270 level, got as high as 269, a nice little drop down. Now we're long Tesla in the money about $1, trying to play it off of some of those dip buy opportunities. You're saying wait out for Rivian until we get their van numbers coming through. We took Rivian really early there, Randy, earlier on today. So Randy's going to load up the mic here on all of this. Randy, give me, here we go. All right. I just want you to say one name. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 names. This is completely off. We haven't discussed this. Okay, Rivian, Lucid, Polestar, GM. You see how I threw that one in there at the end? You tell me which one do you think has the best prospects into year end. So if you could buy a name now, we're not going to look at charts, just based on what you know from what's maybe coming and stuff like that. We don't have to give away any secrets. Rivian, Polestar, GM, because the strike possibly could get resolved. So there's some upside there. A Rivian or Lucid. Lucid's down at $5, near very, very much bottoms. Is there one of those that you prefer, or should we just buy Tesla?
I'm looking Rivian.
Rivian. I like Rivian too.
Yeah.
And is that because we're excited about the van?
I want to see van numbers for the last quarter of the year. Again, it's their bread and butter.
Yep.
This is what's going to pay out their bottom line. They're losing money on the trucks and on the SUV. If they get the vans to Amazon,
Right, that's what was
we're
my
gonna
next
see the
question.
stock going around.
Okay, so we should be buying some Rivian. I don't know. This is not endorsement to buy Rivian. Just what we're expecting. We are expecting to get those numbers. Any idea when those numbers are coming? Is it late October? Is it November?
Late October, early November. They don't have the reporting date, but I want to see some solid van numbers, some good deliveries out to Amazon, and that'll help us make a decision.
Is the mic turned on? Yeah, he's holding it. Yeah, he's fine.
hold it closer,
We can hear him fine. Any opinions on Mullen or nothing like that, right? No. Too low, just a little bit of. I was trying to see what here. Nicola, no. Okay.
Nicola's too niche.
You know, I got invited to the Raptors home opener.
Nice.
By Gillette.
Nice.
Okay, but I have a story about that. 1 ticket. So I got an email and they said,
He almost spit out his old coffee right there.
they said,
can't even take me.
no, it's a really nice one because I did something for them last year. And they said, oh, we really liked your content, blah, blah, blah.
One.
We would love for you to come in a box. Everything is ready to go. But they said, we have 1 ticket for you.
1.
So they just responded to me here. So I'm going to read that and I'm going to get back to everybody about it.
If I were you, I'd ask for 2.
I did. I already phoned the wife. I was like, I'm trying to get one for you as well. I'm not going by myself.
Not a Gillette, not a Gillette fan.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. It's just about like,
1.
I'm going to the Raptors home opener by my damn self.
1.
Like, what am I just like chilling out there? Like, hey, Sean, yeah, great play. Like, cheers. I mean, I'm sure I would meet friends. I'd meet people in the box.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we'll go to Raptors game. Maybe I'll get some more tickets and we'll do some Trader
do
TV
it.
live stuff. Okay.
Smile
All right.
later.
Thank you, Randy, my guy. All right. So there you had it, right there. Sans any mic problems, maybe that mic needs to be turned up a little bit louder because it was on, and I mean, people were saying hold it closer to his mouth. Like, where's he supposed to hold it? Like, hello, Randy, what's going on right there? But thank you very much for Randy. He liked Rivian. We actually talked about that as I was out of here after the main show. So I think that's a pretty exciting name. I do like Rivian at some of those bottoms. But did we even discuss China yet, or we just went off on a tangent there, Brendo? We did, okay, yeah. So I just wanted to quickly talk, now I'm all confused. We still have that same trade from the open. Okay, we waited for Alibaba. I'm pretty actually, this is kind of a pat on the back kind of trade because we listed it right here. We actually were patient. Patience is not a word that is familiar too much in my language, my dictionary, but you know, we waited for it. There's the break. We gave it to everybody right here. Why did we like this trade? Well, we're still in it, first of all. We still have the small 10%, but it's because we took out this level right here. It just goes back to Thursday. We had that huge monster run, Obi, stopped on that on a dime there pretty much at 86.50, 86.60 to be exact. And then we went over here and saw that it was also came back to early October. So the minute we got going through these levels, we really, really liked the long, and we're still in it. So let's see if this one can hold. Did you have any Chinese? No, you just had Amazon today, right?
Yeah, no, I just had Amazon, but
Okay.
I was watching, I guess, NEO and LI. We talked about those in the morning, but yeah, no, I'm looking at PDD here as well. That 110, pretty interesting level, kind of keeps coming in and is getting sandwiched between VWAP there. But yeah, no, LI, we can take a look at how these tickers are doing on the day. We talked about how we saw that LI sell off yesterday, and we kind of broke above those highs. 34 and 35, I think we talked about this morning, right? And we seem to have kind of covered that range while holding VWAP as well. LI being pretty strong into that 35, not really being affected by the market news there, kind of doing its own thing on LI, which is very interesting. And NIO as well, looking very, very similar. What's happening?
You ready for this? You like going to the club.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. All right. Just making
Nice.
sure that Obi's down with the club right there, because boom goes the dynamite with Tesla. Let's go back to the board. You see how I did that, you know? We hit the dollar club. We go over and get the story. Let's drop it like it's hot over there, guys.
Let's get going. Yeah, Tesla 2% here, back to the upside right now. There was a couple of interesting notes this morning as far as details and analysts pointing to the upside for this. I just saw this, which kind of caught my eye here. I mean, ARK is higher only because of Tesla, essentially, at this point today. And as we were saying yesterday, I think we were talking about it in the morning if you were with us, Kathy Wood's been selling Tesla on the way up here. So, I mean, still at this point, obviously the biggest position she has and doing well for ARK.
Yeah, she was selling Tesla and NVIDIA all throughout September. I don't know what she's been doing lately, but yeah, this morning UBS releasing their rating on Tesla, maintaining their neutral stance and lowering their price target to 266 from 290. Not a good look for them, but still up 1.84 on the day.
Yeah, the most recent one was the 21st. So you got to go back to September 21st, but it was 54.8 thousand shares on ARK K, guys, to the sell side for Kathy Wood.
Yeah, no.
To the what side? So, hung up again. Okay, so the thing is like, all right, if she's selling this name, normally, you know, we're on the same page here, so we're gonna have to figure that out. And I'm really glad that she watches the show. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. Again, it was great seeing her at Thanksgiving, which I didn't, but that was really, really nice. But okay, so the thing is that you still have VWAP here. I was honestly, we talk about Tesla every single day. Oh man, look, if I'm not here for comedy, I mean, what really am I here for? So I do appreciate everybody talking there, and they like that kind of stuff. So thanks to Fabian for putting that together for sure, or Ramin, whoever did it. Thing is, I say some stuff about Ramin, sometimes I get in trouble. You know what I mean? So I'm going to thank Ramin and Fabian for making that Kathy Wood graphic. All right, so we actually just picked Tesla because on this drip down there, it wasn't more of a drip. We were like, where can we try to get into some Tesla? Because we knew it was strong today against the market. And it seems like it wants to do that. Well, we just hit the dollar club opening, and we just got kicked right out of the club because it was $1 in the money there, and now it's only 55 cents. So now we're coming back in again. Watch out for Tesla breaking through this 263. You know, we had $2 in the money on Meta. Tesla never really got going. My best out was 264.50. So really, the best it ever got to was $1. This name's been pretty weak since that bounce back. I would have expected a little bit more. Even though the market's not really bouncing, I just would have thought more. More on this move back for Tesla. The market retraced. I mean, we could put up the Fibonacci's here to get the exact number, but I would say it was only, you know, if that's the whole move down, that's 380 down to, that's 100 points. So we make the move back about 40 points. I would have thought Tesla could have got going a little bit better than that. So right now, a little disappointed with Tesla, but hey, hopefully it will continue to go back up to the upside. We're going to get clocked out here if it takes 263. I'm not going to wait around for this one.
Yeah, we pointed out 2 levels in the morning there, Sean, that were interesting on Tesla. And yeah, no, unfortunately, we didn't have either of those levels. We were like, oh, 262. This was before the open. We were like 262, definitely a level of significance as it has held as a resistance. Whenever it does kind of test in, you also have that failure to follow through, kind of a wick through that 62 to kind of confirm that, like, whenever it does push into this area, sellers do get aggressive. Out the open, we blast right through it. So definitely reasons to get long, reasons to buy come in and around that 262 and 264, and that's exactly what it did. We just blasted off through that 262. Now we're getting a bit of a pullback back below VWAP, but that VWAP respect and hold and breakout of that multi-week level kind of, is it multi-week level? Or yeah, exactly. Last week and this week, kind of highs as well. So breaking out multi-week highs on Tesla at that 262 was definitely a great move there. If you had that, good on you. But yeah, no, I definitely did not. Again, I was a little, I guess, distracted with Amazon, but Tesla was where the party was at for sure.
Just watching BlackBerry here, guys. 1.25% little pop here to the upside on a deal with AWS. Again, BB. I'll read this here. Unveils next generation UEM, redefining the endpoint management market, teaming up with AWS for BlackBerry. So not a huge move, but worth a note there for BB. Shout out to Waterloo, Ontario. Wells Fargo, meanwhile, going to overweight. Yep.
Where's John?
Wells Fargo going to overweight on Meta this morning, but lowering their price target. I mean, the daily chart tells the story here for Meta.
Yeah, they had some big announcements during their Meta Connect conference, but the one that's more important for me was the AI tools that came for ads, and that came a week later. They announced that a week later. You'll be able to do all sorts of things with that, and that's where they make the majority of their money, through ads. So I want to see how this is going to be used by developers.
Still watching, still volume, guys, for BlackBerry. Again, if you missed it, they're teaming up with AWS on Internet of Things deal.
So I called up BlackBerry there and thought same kind of thing. When I hear you say AWS, we've seen a lot of big movement when companies or whatever have teamed up with Amazon for various reasons, and then eventually they went over and bought out what iRobot there for that Roomba thing, and then they'd had some more indications of, I think it was one time that they were looking at a delivery system or something for medications, and I believe they wound up buying that company once that went through as well. So please double check on everything here, but I'm just surprised. So we'll wait to see if there's a little bit more. BlackBerry unveils next generation UEM, redefining the endpoint management market. Collaboration with AWS announces endpoint management. So I guess this is not a profitable thing right here for BlackBerry yet, but keep it on your radar. All right, I mean, this is another company here that if you ever announced a deal with Sir Meta and Zuckerberg, you probably would be going to the upside as well. Today, let's just review what we were doing on Meta. Sharif turned over to me today when I came back and was like, can you believe that Meta was 300 and change just last week? And now we're talking about 324. And my straight up answer to him was, yes, I could believe that. I like Meta. The NASDAQ's up 4% from its bottoms on Friday and up and away. I don't think there's a better name out of the Magnificent Seven than Meta, although my largest holding is Google. So, take that for what it's worth. I think these guys could surprise to the upside on their next earnings call. They figured out how to get around that. Remember the whole story, and you may remember this, Obi. Meta and Instagram, obviously, together, Facebook, Instagram, now Threads. They had that problem with the Apple iOS, where they stopped tracking, and they stopped getting information from everybody's phone. Apple was tracking all the information and giving it over to Meta, obviously, and then Apple put a privacy setting where you don't have an iPhone? No, okay. Anyways,
I don't do that.
You don't do that. You'd rather have all your stuff tracked. Yeah, that's cool. So Right, 18 billion in revenues. Anyways, I'm just playing around. I had the Pixel. You have Samsung or Pixel?
Yeah, Samsung.
Yeah. I never actually had a Samsung phone. You know what my best one was? You know what I really liked? My very first one, as I'm doing this, everyone probably knows, is that Motorola Razr, the flip.
Ooh, those were nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I have that. I know. I'm gonna go see if I have that because I know Neil trashed on one of his videos there an old BlackBerry or something that he had. I'm pretty sure it was silver. It was really great. It was a little bulky, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can play some gangster games on it and things like that. All right, back to what we're talking about with Meta real quick. We went long Meta early because remember we talked about this and it's on the sticky note here today. Go long at 320. Go long at 320. Well, we got a little excited there because we thought we missed that boat. There it is right there, 320.15. So I was pretty happy taking it. It falls back into 319 where we actually wind up getting out at that bottom. So we were sort of red on it. Then this was a pretty flat trade where we shorted in front of 322.50, just trying to play momentum, got it back in. That's a 321.60 fill before getting out at 322.60 there. And then honestly, again, the same story. The market's only up 0.7 right now, or what are we up? 0.72. So I just went over to strong names. When this dip happened, and we got stopped out again, and then got right back into it. So I'm gonna have to work on getting stopped out first and then buying it back. But we went in, we respected that 320 level. We just went right over to the sticky note. We said, what's a key level here in any names? And I don't know if you were sitting here, but Sharif as well. I was like, we got to find something that fell back into a key level. The answer there was Meta. So there it is. And just for proof in the pudding, like we don't have to prove anything to anybody except for ourselves, right? The thing is like right there, this is 320.20. That's the long. You can see the long. Here's me getting out, 319.93. So that's about 30 cents worth of a hit. When we bought this stock back, we're back long at 320, then we're back long at 330. Our first out is 70. Our next out is 80s. Then we're at 321.26. So 30-cent hit, we're already taking that. And then right back into there is a $2.25 win. So this is how I'm trying to manage risk. I could do it much better in the afternoon and on the midday than during the crazy open. So patience is key for me, but that's Meta wrapped up all in one. We only have, we still have 25% left. So I'd really like this thing to continue to the upside. But again, I don't mean like, I'm not talking negatively here. People are talking about Sleepy Joe in the chat, but I mean, 1 o'clock. No, but I could, Democrats, Republicans, this is not a thing. A lot of people love Barack Obama, and I think there's studies about it that he was the latest for all of his press conferences, right? So I don't know what exactly is happening right now, but we await for that. So that's why I'm trying to hold on to some of these positions here because I think obviously he's going to talk about Israel. I don't think there's going to be anything new to come through here, but the market has shrugged off all this wartime talk. So I'm just want to hear what he has to say. That it could be an upside move by the time he finally gets on there. So. Anyways, all right. That's my opinion. Anything on Meta quickly, or
yeah, no. I just took a quick scalp while you were talking there. Just a quick dime, right? Just off of that selling there. Again, a little indecisive here as we're kind of consolidating 4,400 underneath that, and then 15.3 consolidation as well on the NQ. So I took a little bit of just a piece of the range. Amazon's doing like a 10-15 penny range, and I just wanted to take that piece off. But yeah, no, that 320 hold there, Sean. That's pretty interesting. That on the market news there, or when the market did that quadunk. Meta comes all the way down and then has a hard stop right there at that 320, kind of wicking that 320. So it just goes to show that 320 level may be significant over the past couple of days, as it was resistance, pretty strong resistance yesterday. And coming in today, we do a consolidation, break out of it, sell off, and then hold that 320 as well. So going forward, that 320, we saw the defense of the 300 has that defense stepped up 20 points on that 320? That's the first question I'm asking to myself.
Just real quickly, we have to talk about all the super chats because this is community, right? And we want to say what's up to everybody there. So long this. Happy birthday to Max with 2 X's, although it's 1 X. He would have been 30 today. I don't know if he's already 30 or what, but he was and still is a great host. So shout out to Max. He's behind us trading away. There you may see him walking back and forth. I just heard in my ear. He's alive! Obviously, we shouldn't joke about that. But President Biden is now taking the microphone. And apparently he's going to be rapping some Biggie Smalls or something like that. So,
okay.
No, I don't know. He's talking away right now. So let's go back over to Brendo. I'm sure he has it in his ear. Anything drops, we'll give it to you guys live. But let's go and finish up this rundown.
Yeah, just be aware if you are in a position right now, Biden speaking. So we'll keep an ear out for anything that could potentially move the market. Meanwhile, Rivian here, a bit of a downtick, 4.5% still on the day. Nice look after the big move down last week that came on that debt raise announcement. If you missed it, it was this day. Obviously, huge move down on a debt raise. But here we go back to the upside. UBS seeing several catalysts suggesting that this might have been overdone. I mean, they just want this thing up at 24, which is right here, top end of the daily chart range. So, I mean, yeah, it's positive, but context.
Yeah. Oh, all EVs today are, if you have a look, Lucid, Fisker, Polestar, they're all positive on the day. Good look for them. But yeah, upgrading from neutral to buy. However, they're lowering their price target from 26 to 24. Brenda already cited the $1.5 billion capital raise. We saw I think a few weeks ago, a data point came out that they're losing about $33,000 per car. So that's burning through a lot of cash. We'll have to wait and see how they do the rest of the year.
It's, I mean, the week last week was 20+% to the downside. So yeah, 4.5% here back up, but context. So just keep in mind, guys, Biden's still speaking here.
Long there on Tesla, just fell in again to 263. We talked about what we're trying to do again. So we just got hit there at 25s or 26s, I think it was. 26s, sorry, right there. So slightly 20 cents plus now in the money as we're starting to go back up. Biden just saying they'll give Israel all the help that they need. And that's that. So here we go, man. There's another play for us right now. I'm sorry, I would love to talk about Rivian. Rivian's one of the #1 names here on the sticky note, and it might be my most profitable name. But we just got into some Google again. Like, honestly, I just have, you want to talk about Rivian if you're not into anything? Because
sure, yeah,
I'm getting lit up in all these damn positions right now. Tesla, 50 cents in the money. Google, we just grabbed that. Meta's starting to go. Let's go, Tesla. Nice little move to the upside right now. I said I'd pass the mic over to you, and I don't stop talking. So,
that's fine. I'm still waiting.
There we go, man. Tesla now going. We talked about this. Good trade here. President Biden, I'm not going to say the numbers. There's a few people have passed. Thank you so much, Randy. You the man. Be safe on your trip home. You know it was snowing on the way home when I came home from North Bay? Almost all the way down until we got to about Barrie. Man, I don't know how you do it, my guy, but it's tough sledding up there. But if you're prepared, you're prepared. At the hotel we were staying at, by the way. Hi, we saw a bunch of dudes there with their trucks, and they were all like roughly our age. And both Marissa and I was like, we bet one of those guys over there is Randy. They had their hunting gear on. No, I'm saying, you told me how sometimes you get together, go fishing with your boys and stuff like that. So it was just funny because up there in North Bay, a bunch of guys were getting together and I think going on some kind of an excursion. So it reminded us of you. So thank you. Yeah, carry on. Sorry, that's my bad there. I didn't mean to interrupt everybody with such a useless story there. But
Good Boeing.
Boeing.
Yeah, I know, Boeing. We actually were talking about that earlier, that it was maybe like more of a wartime play. Have you seen what Boeing's been doing on the daily chart? It's been absolutely kicked. Look at this. 230, Randy, back on September 5th. All the way down here to 186 bottom. But yes, definitely a nice little move there today as it gets kicked up to the top side. We'll ask Brendan for the story. But for now, we have an important guest coming on, so I'm going to pass it over to Obi and see if he wants to say anything about Tesla. Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, Tesla or Rivian? Rivian, I think.
Either one, bud.
Okay, all right. All right, Tesla, we already talked about Tesla, that 262 kind of level and what it's been doing. Now, Rivian, very, very interesting price action here on Rivian. We saw how LI and NIO are both holding above their VWAP, not really affected by the sways in the market here. But yeah, take a look at that. A bit of a sell-off there. But I like that respect to VWAP. Take a look at this range that's going on here on Rivian. Seems like it's the gift that keeps on giving. Kind of defines this consolidation here at that 1940, 1930s area. Makes a high just underneath 20, and then just kind of ping-ponging between VWAP and those highs there, giving you about 30 to 40 pennies over and over again on a VWAP hold. Now, we know this name has been kind of in the news, been selling off of, I think it was deliveries. What was this last week? Very high RVOL sell-off there, and take a look. We're kind of retesting some of those same levels here. Haven't necessarily gotten back all the way up to where these sellers got aggressive here at 21.50 and maybe even 23.50 off of that initial news reaction. But yeah, no, a bit of a strong sell-off there. We're getting that consolidation and grind up. I like the respect of VWAP there. Definitely can structure a lot of, definitely can structure range trades, especially when you have confluence with a hold on VWAP as well as pre-market highs and the opening range. So factors of confluence. Rivian, I like it.
Well, let's talk about Palantir here. Downside a little bit. I mean, overall market coming off right now, but just be aware that, again, these comments still coming through. 1.14% new military contract awarded this morning, if you missed it, for PLTR. Nice gap, but not much to do since then on this.
Yeah, worth about $250 million here, Brendo. It's supposed to help with AI, machine learning for combat capabilities, armed services and intelligence community, in addition to special forces. It's more of the same, though. We were looking to see whether they're going to get more commercial contracts. We know the split between government and commercial was about 70-30. I don't know. I think it's probably leaning a little bit more government now that they've acquired new ones.
Yeah, just be cautious here, guys. Market not really doing a heck of a lot, but we'll keep an eye out for any kind of move to the downside. Rundown, as always, brought to you by our friends over at Trade Ideas. If you haven't done so, scan that QR code, get 20% off, because why not? Trader TV 20 will do that for you. Access to this brand new web version of the platform, all kinds of great features, including dual time frame charts that you can minimize. You can swap out the time frames in one click. So many great features. Trader TV 20 again. Shout out to Trade Ideas.
It's in the bottom right.
Oh, okay.
Or bottom left. So you could have, like, you're looking at a minute chart, and you could have like a day chart, and you just click in and it.
Interesting. I mean, I got my time frame charts right here.
Okay, so apparently I'm hearing it in my ear as well. It's just basically just that United States stands with Israel. That's what he's saying. You can probably find a recap, find tweets out there of people covering it. And Brendan, if he hears anything amazing that would be market moving, we'll come back with that, right? I'm not even saying that tongue in cheek. I'm like being serious. Like if anything hits, man, we are going to be the source for you. So just stay here. And not only that, we're going to give you real-time movements, because if something starts popping off one way or the other, look what I'm in, guys. I'm short Apple, $1.50 in the money. I'm still in AMC. AMC, oh yeah. Baby, it must. Oh, my guy over here, the professor's in the building, right there. So thank you for that, professor. No, it's because if it's going crazy, it's always me, and I'm sitting here not doing it. So shut up. I'm like, did something break?
I don't have the bang here, do I? No, I don't think so.
You don't have the bang? Nah, Neil doesn't like it. He just likes the usual. Here's for Neil. There you go.
Oh, no.
Your Stream Deck's not open. Just
let
type
me,
in Stream Deck.
okay, let me
just type
let
it
me do
in
that.
and open up the app, and you'll get Stream Deck, my guy.
Nice.
Okay, so just real quickly, AMC long, AMC long, 10 cents in the money.
Okay,
Whoop-de-doo.
got it.
Baba long, 70 cents in the money. Google long right now. Meta long. Rivian long, 20. We just talked about Rivian. Look at that, man. This was a play that we wanted today. We actually wrote down 20 right here on the sticky note. But that was the top, man, 1998. Not only do we have pretty much the bottom, but we also have the top here today on Rivian. As we hold this petite position right now on that. Here we go. Tesla making moves back up to the upside. Look, we got dropped out there, got back in. Same story, different. I just talked about it. I was trying not to do this, and I did it again. But we broke that bottom. We got out, bought right back in there. Shout out to the market, now finally going back up to the upside. But again, here's the drip down. We got out at 263, right? So that's a 25-cent hit. Now we're in the money 60 cents back in the backside. So that's going to be a good trade for us. And then we have Rivian, Tesla, Meta. Meta's a very interesting name for me. I really do like Meta floating back up to the upside here. I'm going to hold on to this one. I really think that we do have a good potential for this. Do we have Frank coming today, Brendo? Yeah. Yes, we do. So Frank Caberna coming today as well. We'll be able to hear from him if there's anything that maybe he's seen here over the last little while, the 4% move up. We had the bonds closed yesterday, TLT and whatnot moving here today. What's up, Brendo?
Just to confirm, guys, he's wrapped up these comments. There was nothing that was any significance, as you can see from the market.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah,
Catching a bit of a bid here.
resume upside move.
Yeah, pretty
right
much.
now would be
Yeah,
really,
so like-
really nice. And I did give. I went around there, gave my blood today, and I
yeah,
did
how
not
was that?
faint. It was great. Actually, I made sure to phone my wife. I phoned my mother before because we have a funny thing. Have you heard the song "Kokomo" by Beach Boys? You know who?
I've heard the Beach Boys,
Okay.
like the name Beach Boys before.
Yeah. So
I'm
my
not
mother
familiar
used to
with
tell
their
me
music.
one of her tricks was she sings Kokomo.
Okay.
So it's Aruba, Bahama.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah,
yeah.
come on, pretty mama.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually, it's a funny thing because I'm just crazy like this. It's actually pretty funny. So I just, without giving everything away, I actually put this on my Apple iTunes there, listened to it on my way to get, to give my blood. And then I texted to my mom because it was a trick for her. She said, don't look. Because I don't like being poked and prodded. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, she said, don't look and sing Kokomo. So I told her I did that, and it was a blast, and we had absolutely no issues. So yeah. So
I'm a little different. I'm just like I know.
Yeah.
I get a little thing, but I just stare it down. I'm like, okay, this is happening.
Oh, you look at it?
I just stare at it. I'm
no,
like, all right,
dude.
gotta desensitize myself.
man, I
like
don't
not
know
the
if I
first
could do
time
that.
I'll be giving blood, but yeah,
I
no.
don't know if I could do that, my guy. But I had a great. I don't even know her name. I just went to one of the labs around here, and she was absolutely fantastic.
Life Labs?
Yeah, exactly. And got it all done, and we're here, and nothing to fret. It's just a annual physical. So, oh, we did get a super chat. I did see him right there. Oh, $25 now for Mad Max. Okay, buy
of
a
love.
6-pack. Yeah, there it is. What's up? The chat is LCBO open? Did I just what? No, it's not his birthday. No. Shout out to everybody there in the chat, Max. You may see him walking around behind us at some point. Okay, so what else we want to talk about here? Tesla still trying to get back up to the upside. This has been a weaker name. We're going to be net positive on Tesla today, despite obviously we talked about that right here, getting dropped off a little bit, risk to reward here. You got to manage your risk when you're in these positions, that's for sure. So it's a nice upside move right now. And you and I actually talked about this, Obi, and that was share sizing when you're scalping, because
Yes.
a lot of the times levels will break on you, and if you're still caught holding the whole bag there, it will hurt, because when you're scalping, unless you're getting out of everything, it's a tough trade. So we'll hold on to Tesla. We'll see if we can. I'm debating getting some out here at 64s. We'll probably do that. Then we'll hold the rest for a better move, because we've been bouncing a little bit too much here at the 50 period.
Yeah, no, definitely a bit of a chop there. It took a couple scalps there while we were talking. A little bit of a short, a little bit of a long, kind of just off of quick tapes. Like, yeah, I definitely agree. When you're in that scalp mode, which we have been, around the time we left you guys, and kind of over that lunch hour as well. You guys can see I kind of went a little crazy, getting in short, covering, getting in short, covering. Yeah, this unfortunately, I'm reassessing this trade here. I had a lot of reasons to sell, and yeah, should be leaving a trail on that when it does start to work, and not be so adamant on covering. So that's something definitely I have to reconsider. Just if something's in the money, you got to step away, leave a trail on, and let the trade kind of happen. Now, of course, nobody can expect like random intraday news to come out, but definitely reasons to sell are reasons to sell, and if you're willing to put on the risk, that risk has to be put on. So yeah, definitely a nice place to sell up there, and then we got that crazy quadrunk bit of a bounce back, but it seems like that 130 kind of also corresponding with a VWAP right here. I'll just show you guys real quick. So take a look at that. We are a little heavy underneath 130, which was this consolidation from the morning, and now we're chopping and churning in and around underneath that 130, but also underneath VWAP as this market kind of decides where we're going to go. Again, we talked about that 4,400 and that 15.3 definitely on watch. Let's see if this selling pressure is going to continue back to the downside and we wipe the whole move that we've done. And yeah, no, we were talking about kind of that, like that 15,400 area looking left where sellers got aggressive, and take a look at where we kind of just melted up to. I was talking about this with Sean there. I was like, look, green bar, green bar, green bar, green bar, multiple 15-minute green bars, and then you get the first red bar, second red bar, and then we start to slowly lose that momentum, and all of a sudden quadunk to the downside as all that pressure gets a little released off of some market news there. But yeah, holding underneath that 15.3, that's going to be interesting. Let's see if these shorts are on. I did see some reasons to sell here underneath the 130, but because we are in that scalp mode, we're just taking quick winners as they're given to us, and trying to keep that risk real tight there. Not really giving it too much room. This consolidation, I think I was giving it just, I think, about 6 pennies or 7 pennies off of the 80s there. I was like, okay, 90s is that consolidation high, and I got a little blessed with the sell, because I was only looking for 70s covers, and we kind of dropped down to the lower end of the range into the 60s, and it seems like we're continuing to the downside there. Potentially, kind of it's a little bit of an ugly head and shoulders, but definitely a little bit of head and shoulders happening here, with the shoulders kind of that 130 acting as the shoulders there. And then we talked about that resistance being right above that 130, and it seems like that 130.60, 130.80 area was where that selling kind of stopped that the uptrend, kind of held it down there, gave us some sideways action, and when the market does pull back, we kind of crack that consolidation underneath that 130.40, and it gives you about a point to the downside there on that. Let's see if we're going to get that continuation there. I do have Softy up here. I do want to be watching the SPY, not Softy, right now. Again, we talked about when the market is in play, we want to be looking at some of these larger caps and maybe some ETFs as well to give us some good opportunities. But yeah, this so okay, that's still not SPY. Let me pull that up again. Let's see if okay, there we go. A little bit of annoying wicks there, but seems like we are holding this 435. We talked about that 433 in the morning, kind of being a key area of interest. Let's pull this up on a 5-minute just to kind of pull in some of this price action from the morning right here. So yeah, out the open, pretty strong, all the way from 433 to 437, and now we're kind of consolidating pretty tightly, might I add, in and around this 435 area as well. I don't think I have that as like a key level, but no, definitely holding under VWAP. So VWAP's in and around these areas, and we're grinding below VWAP on the SPY. So let's see if we can continue that sell-off.
Let's go.
And maybe we get a reprint of that 15.2 down here. We saw that 15.240 was the high of consolidation in the pre-market. Let's see if we can catch a bid there, or if this is the consolidation that we're going to use to continue past that 15.3. So that's what I have on watch. Nothing too crazy today. Let us know in the chat what you guys have been trading. People in the chat talking about Netflix. Okay, let's take a look at Netflix here. NFLX.
Why are you calling it Netflix?
It's just I think it's like a running joke of like they had a whole run where their shows were just like not that great, and I was like, instead of Netflix, I gave it the name Netflix. So, but no, as of recent, they've kind of upped their game a little bit. But yeah, anyways, a bit of a quadunk. We saw that crazy action a couple of days ago, and we're wiping pretty much yesterday's move on Netflix. Not really as strong as the market here. Kind of pulled back much more significantly relative to some of the other tech names here. Kind of what is this? 380, 388 high. We saw that there were sellers here in the 380s as well yesterday, kind of comes back in today, and quite heavy, holding this 377 support as well. So yeah, no, interesting look on Netflix. Did you guys have shorts on Netflix there? It seems like that opening consolidation low was a good place to kind of get in when it kind of gave it to you. It did consolidate above it for a little bit, and then you got that quadunk right underneath that 383. So nice look there on Netflix. Yeah, exactly, Havana Woody. That's I guess that's part of it a little bit. But yeah, if things aren't bringing in money and shows are failing, then yeah, I'm gonna call you Netflix for sure.
No, nothing.
I can keep
just
talking.
messaging something to Brendan there. We're just such idiots. Because I'm messaging, so we have a couple of different accounts, and I'm just asking him some stories just about the news and whatever. And I'm messaging him on like one account and the other account, like at the same time.
Nice.
It's like, oh, you know, you got a message like on iMessage and then Google Hangouts back and forth.
It's
right
like
there.
inception of conversation.
Right. It's like, and I just realized it's like, why am I having it on two different platforms? Because both my notifications are going off, and it's both Brendan. I'm like, what? Okay. So I know we do have Frank coming on, but right now let's just hit a quick little banger now, because yeah, there goes Tesla. It is the one right now. Let's see if it wants to continue to go to the upside. And we're gonna go to Frank right now. We're not gonna leave him alone here, but I just want to give everyone an out. We are going to get out if we break above this 65 area now on Apple. And just for reference, so everybody knows, my stop on this was obviously a break of 180. So here we are going short 179.65. It's now $1. Well, now it's $1.20 in the money. At the bottom, we were almost $2 in the money down there with only a 30-cent stop, right? So there it is. Even for me to get out here for $1, it's still going to be 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio on that one. We 2-to-1'd it out right here when it came back in and really gave this fill under view up. I wasn't completely convinced that Apple was going to do that dance all the way back in to the low of the day right there. But anyways, Apple, nice move there. Don't forget, the NASDAQ is up 4% from that Friday bottom that we're going to talk about right now. So it wouldn't be surprised for me anyways if the market did give back a little bit here, as I'm holding some nice longs. Tesla, $1.60 in the money. Maybe we got to trim that Meta, also $2. It's Frank Caberna with Brendan.
There he is, back with us ahead of a couple of data points this week that could be important as far as equities are concerned. As far as the overall context of the picture is concerned, with PPI and CPI to come both Wednesday and Thursday morning. We'll start things off, though, with a little look at, I mean, obviously, you know, setting aside everything that's going on from, you know, a political standpoint and from the tragedy that is unfolding, there's obviously moves that are being caused in not only FX markets, but in interest rates and also yields. And I want to get your opinion to start things off on this, Frank. We had a bank holiday on Monday, and then everything that happened over the weekend caused a bit of a delayed reaction as far as the yields are concerned. We get them reopened this morning, and big moves to the downside for both, I mean, the 2-year and the 10-year, obviously, but longer term as well.
Yeah, so some really crazy action here to start the week, coming off of course, yeah, as you point out, awful news of all the violence going on in the Middle East and Israel declaring war on Hamas. And I thought might as well start off in the most direct place for that news to take effect in markets, which is the Israeli shekel. And you may have seen some news around the movement in this market, because actually a couple of really interesting things that you don't see every day. One, a region declaring war and what that means for its currency, as you see dollar versus that shekel moved to new highs for the last year. And as we have data for coming up, these are highs in dollar, lows for the shekel going back to 2016, and 2016 would have been coming off of the Gaza war that occurred in 2014 into 2015 there. So yeah, some really historic lows for that Israeli shekel, some extremes that we're seeing across the Forex board to kick off this week, coming from this geopolitical fear that's been abound the last couple of days. And I also wanted to look aside from that Israeli shekel, not a lot of people trading that market, but there has been a knock-on effect in other currency markets, as you can imagine, of surrounding areas there. US dollar's been a little bit of the flight to quality. But I did want to compare, Brendan, I'm sure that you guys on the show have been analyzing a lot of this minute by minute digestion of what's going on in the Middle East. But I wanted to just take a look at Sunday night's open, the net changes from Friday to Sunday, and then compare it to where we ended up yesterday, and then even where we're at here today, because you saw some significant downside in the S&P 500 to start off the week on that Sunday night open, and then was able to bounce back yesterday to close higher, was down more than a percentage point, closed up by half a percentage point, but not much else reversed. To your point, interest rates falling significantly, especially in that 2-year and 5-year and 10-year range, down more than 10 basis points since news broke on Sunday of war in the Middle East there. And that market hasn't picked itself back up. And in fact, I think some of the stock upside that we're seeing here might be that knock-on effect of, oh, well, if there's geopolitical tension, the Fed is likely not to hike interest rates into such a big unknown. And is the stock market rallying a little bit off of that piece, as I think a lot of people look at the headlines that are coming out of the Middle East and all of the awful video of what's been occurring, the airstrikes back and forth, and are wondering, Brendan, how could this stock market be bouncing back? And I think it might be that geopolitical risk, how that feeds through central banks in the US and globally, and how interest rates potentially being unchanged to now lower and not higher, that could be a bullish note for stocks, at least in the short term. But again, it's crazy. The theme of the last couple of years, Brennan, has been soft landings all over the place. It's almost like, can inflation land in this manner where we don't move into deflation or potential recession? And this is another one, and it's crazy to even think about, but it's what the market is looking like. Can this geopolitical tension be enough to knock down interest rates, or at least stop them without an all-out war, obviously wreaking havoc on the stock market? And that's what we've seen in at least the first 48 hours or so.
Yeah, and I want to get your take on this, but I mean, it's a very headline-driven environment across the board, and we saw that going back to lunch hour today, big move down on what seemed to be a bit of an escalation in what was coming out as far as the headlines are concerned from the Middle East. How much is this? And I've read a few analysts over the past couple of days suggesting that as we see that the longer term, the 30 years, the 20 and the 30, as we see those creeping higher and continuing to creep higher, that is typically when you start to see the cuts starting to come in, when the actual increases in the yields get out to those very, very long-term rates. How much is this in relation to maybe that occurring at the same time as well?
I think you're spot on there. There's just it's craziness. There's so much stuff going on, and it's hard to decipher. Essentially, I always, my math mind always thinks of it as like, oh, a percentage point in the S&P, is that coming from 5 basis points in the 10-year, which is coming from which event? There's so many events occurring right now, not to mention the inflation numbers that we're getting later this week, that it's hard to decipher what's coming from what. But I think you are exactly right that whether it is the idea of central banks not wanting to hike into rising geopolitical tensions, or to the other side of it, just stocks moving lower on longer term rates, moving higher, and central banks wanting to kind of watch out for that soft landing of inflation, potential recession. Whatever it is, short-term rates are trending lower. Since both last week's job number, where rates spiked, or if you want to look since Friday, since the Israeli-Hamas conflict has really increased here. Either way, short-term rates are lower since those timeframes in the last week. And I was actually looking at the FedWatch numbers because we do have that FOMC meeting coming in 3 weeks or so, November 1st. And I was looking at the odds, Brendan, and it was right around a 45 to 50% chance of rates being higher at the November 1st meeting. I believe it was a month ago. Those odds right now around 10%. And that tells you, again, that short-term rates are moving lower. Projections for short-term rates are moving lower as those longer-term rates are moving higher. Is one causing the other? Maybe by, a nuanced relationship of longer-term rates moving higher, being more contractionary on companies and the ability to access money for high-growth initiatives, and that's slowing down the stock market, which is then feeding into potential rate cuts. Maybe you could draw that line, but whatever it is, you're definitely seeing short-term rate projections moving lower, which is going to make this inflation print here this week, both the PPI, but especially the CPI on Thursday, very, very relevant. Not to mention what central bankers start to say. Do they start to mention geopolitical risk like they have in the past as being a reason to be slightly dovish? All could be reasons for short-term rates to move lower. And what we've seen, at least in the short term here, stocks to move higher, even though it seems like craziness that, war escalating could be potential bullish for the stock market here.
Yeah, let's dig into what we're going to get, both, as you mentioned, coming up on Wednesday and then Thursday morning as well. First off, for anyone who might be, hearing that term PPI, CPI for the first time and really doesn't understand, what the significance of this is. I mean, one is the producer side, one is the consumer side. As you mentioned, typically, more weight by far is put on the consumer side when it comes to these readings. But PPI, if it comes, one of those numbers that if it comes one way or the other outside of what is expected can potentially have some influence on the overall market. And then second, so maybe just touch on, the significance of both. And then second, as far as CPI, that's, the next benchmark as this conversation continues.
Absolutely right. And I mean, I'll just point you to last week where everybody's waiting for non-farm. And then JOLTS comes out 3 days before and steals all the thunder. They're both inflationary numbers. As you can tell by just looking at, I think the PPI number, which is producer price index, is quoted I think forecasted at maybe like 0.3 or 0.4%. And so just given that that's forecasted under 1%, and the core CPI, I believe, is forecasted closer to 4%, lets you know that, one is relatively calm and the other is as you can see here, the one that they're trying to get to that 2% target. But yeah, to your point, exactly, this is a game of where does the number come in relative to forecast? Is it over or under? And so even though one is forecasted at 0.4% or whatever it is, and the other is forecasted at 4% even here, a surprise one way or the other will move markets. But yeah, zeroing in on the core CPI reading, the Fed has definitely spoken to the fact that they're worried about core inflation, which is all of those goods and services outside of food and energy. So really looking at the heart of consumer goods here that don't deal with those volatile energy prices or volatile agriculture and food prices there. And they're looking at 4.1%, which would be another leg lower here. And they'd probably then in the next month look for a sub 4% print. If that number comes in hotter than expected, 4.3, 4.4%, it'll be really interesting to see. And I don't think that's off the table, Brendan, given that non-farm payrolls on Friday was more than double what they estimated. There's obviously some inflation resurgence in the air. Now, how markets digest it is a totally different thing, because we saw that market take that non-farm number in the direction you would have thought, which is stocks lower, interest rates through the roof, and US dollars through the roof, and reversed a lot of that, and has actually, we've seen these markets kind of reverse course from that direction, not only Friday, but since then. So it'll be really interesting to see, one, the number that we get, and two, if there is a sustained effect in the direction that we would have expected, given historical movement around high inflation prints.
Just quickly to wrap things up, we've had notably more dovish comments coming from Fed members all week long, both yesterday at least, and again today, even going as far as saying we don't need to raise rates any longer. I believe was one of the comments from Bostic this morning. It's the first time that I can think of, anyways. It's the first time, consistently over a couple of days that we're starting to hear more and more of that narrative. How much weight are you putting on that?
Honestly, not a lot, because until they start talking about, if they start to insert rate cutting conversation, then you might see rates really turn around and stocks see some significant upside. I think a lot of this is, let's face it, rate hikes, especially at this moment, given everything that's going on, not just with domestic inflation here in the US, but also ties to potential escalating war abroad. They don't want to be hiking interest rates. You look at the odds for coming FOMC numbers, they're all around 10% or less of higher interest rates between now and any point in the future. I think what they're doing, Brendan, is trying to slow down the pace at which longer term rates are climbing now, because we're seeing the effect that's having on the economy, and they can't control that. They can come out and say that we don't want to hike anymore, we're good here at 5%. And the 10-year and 30-year can get to 5%, 6%, 7%, can go where it wants. When that ball gets rolling, it's hard to stop. And I think they're at least trying to slow it down a little bit, manage it. And we'll see if that does turn into the potential for cuts as soon as 2024. They're still pricing in, albeit a lot less than they were a year ago or a few months ago. They're pricing in some rate cuts of about 50 to 75 basis points by the end of next year, but the Fed hasn't started saying it, and we'll see if the market can take over, because I don't necessarily see the Fed cutting rates if the 10-year and 30-year continue to climb. They might just have to stand pat and hope that that ball stops at something that's manageable for the economy here.
Yeah, Thursday morning, 8:30, we will find out more as we continue to unravel this mystery of inflation. Great stuff as always. Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago, Frank Caberna. Pleasure as always.
Thanks, Brendan.
Watch again and again, because so much information given right there. Thank you so much to Frank. 21 days, 22 hours. I mean, we have a lot of time to go. And 57 minutes until our next Fed rate. So if you're coming over here right now, we looked at this on the recap show. Join me today as well. We'll have Brian Shannon coming through. Yesterday it was 85. Today it's 86. So it looks like we'll stand pat here come November. And then as of yesterday, it wasn't until May where maybe it's June, where finally the cut is looking like it's going to happen. So right now, traders are sort of pricing in no cut at all until June. So a lot of stuff can come into play once that hits. You see the December meeting still same rate expectation as to now, but there's the one that we're most worried about as this gets closer. You, of course, really only worry about the 1 or 2, 3 maybe that we have heading into the new year, which would be January. But again, there's so much seasonality in these numbers. Like, I know Canada's okay. What just happened right there? We just got a nice out there somewhere. Google back to the upside as well. Meta trying to break higher. We're doing quite well here since we last saw you. But Canada had a real hot number. But again, it was attributed to more teacher, because immigration, I'm not going to say it's out of control, but it's a lot here.
It's there.
It's there in Canada for sure. They hired a lot more teachers this time around. So that they were saying that there was a seasonality effect in Canada's huge job number that came out as well. So probably the U.S. Some similarities on that that just came out. So obviously, if we're talking about forward looking to June, so many things could happen, man, including what's been happening in the Middle East, conflict there, Russia, Ukraine. There's a lot that could happen that could change everything. I mean, if oil stays pretty steady of where it is right now, I think we're okay. But you have another run to $100 on oil, and I think that changes a lot. Okay, meanwhile, as we keep saying there, since you guys were gone, we did get a piece out there on Tesla, and I tweeted that as soon as we got it out. It was as soon as Frank came up there. We hit the 265. We actually got going to 265.50. We take a piece out there in front of VWAP, so that's $2. It has pulled back, but we're still $1.50 in the money on this name. No more getting out of anything. The market's still up now. We're above VWAP. We're above the 50-period moving average. Let's see if we can't make this going up, up, and away right now. Meta, 250 in the money. Google was that fill that we just got. Little nervous about Google here, only up 0.17. So like its friend Apple, continues to be, Apple's red, continues to be downside here for a lot of this. Look, we didn't get stopped out of our Apple, but we almost did, man. We talked about that key level. That would have been a reload level. And you mentioned that earlier too, right? Any stop level might be considered a reload level if you do like the trade. Remember you were talking about, you read something where your stop orders maybe is where your entry should be?
Yeah, no, I've heard many people say this. I've read it in a few books, but it's like a common saying, I guess. But yeah, no, the mindset structured around that is just like, okay, well, if something like we used it here, I can just give you an example. This morning we saw that we did fight the short. Memories kind of getting a little bit of caught up on that. But okay, so we realize the trend is strong, right? You realize the trend is strong, that's step one. And then you're like, okay, well, people who are trend trading, where would their stop be? It would be at the break of the trend. But if the trend is still strong and it just say that it's holding like an 8, say that it's holding the 8 MA and it wants to quote unquote slow down, it might pull into the 21, it might do some sideways consolidation and take out those players who have their stops really tight into the trend. And kind of what we use that kind of I guess that idea or that thesis to get long. I was like, okay, we are pretty strong. We've been pretty strong for the past 3 days. And if the trend wants to slow down a bit, I kind of still, I'll be looking for bids to hold and firm up even after the break of the trend. And then you see that trend break, you see a bunch of volume go through, you see a bunch of size maybe indicating that stops are getting taken out. And then you got a stall, and then the bids firm up again, and definitely reasons to buy show up, and you can definitely put that entry where others who are following that trend, where they would put their stops if you do believe in that trend and think that trend has still ways to go, and it's just slowing down on a little bit of consolidation there. So that's the idea of like maybe that's just an example of like putting your entry ideally where your stop technically would be based off of the structure that's being formed right now on the chart there. So yeah, it kind of goes back to how I've been trying to trade more as of late. Shout out to Adam. He was we talked about Adam earlier. Now he has his own floor. Previous trader on this floor, but yeah, no, he was just like you should be basing some of your trades on structure, like market structure and the break of that structure. So I've been focused a little bit more on focusing on that structure. For example, we saw this consolidation between this 15.3 and the 15.260, and we did take a scalp along on Amazon when the NQ comes back into the lower end of that range and kind of stalls a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, Amazon's pretty heavy. I don't want to catch a falling knife, but the NQs are getting in to the lower part of this kind of structure that's forming, so I do want to put some risk on a long. We have sold off quite a bit, and technically we would be making a higher low on a day where we did have strong buying pressure in the morning. So a quick scalp based off of that structure respect kind of. So yeah, I definitely like that look there. Trying to get better at respecting structure for sure.
Just looking to see tonight to see if there are any major earnings coming through. There are not. So right here for Market Chameleon, I actually really like this website right here. You click on it today. I just sort it by market cap, right? We had the big dog right here, PepsiCo, come through today. We'll talk about this report as well. Well held off that 161 level right now. This is a level that you had brought up earlier, Obi, in the day, and we actually dipped.
Never got there?
Never got there,
Yeah,
but dipped in, tried to dip in anyways, into 162. So some good levels there, up 2%. Neogen, other than that, there's absolutely nothing. And then as we go on here to see what's happening, let's just zoom this out here. We're not affiliated at all. Absolutely nothing tomorrow for some reason. October 11th, like nothing. And then the 12th, we kick it off again with a few more here. Infosys, Fastenal's been there. Delta Airlines, Walgreens Boots Alliance, Domino's Pizza. So, you know, we're starting to get into it. And then, of course, as we go on, thank God the 13th is not actually 13th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Uh-oh. You know what day Friday is?
The 13th.
It's Friday the 13th, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to get kicked off with UNH there, JP Morgan, WFC, BlackRock, Progressive, Citi, and PNC Financial. All the big dogs come out to play for everybody on Friday, so get ready for that one on Friday the 13th. So once again, there's a stat there. I should know this. Like, how many times does that happen in a year on average? It has to, should be able to figure that out. How many times that is, but hey, I'm a trader. Let's get back to trading right now. Rivian, nice move to the upside. So not too many earnings today, but we'll talk about PepsiCo, and we should be able to have Alpha Trends at Alpha Trends. Brian Shannon coming through again today, one of the best, man. You know, I'm really impressed with some of the things that these guys are telling me when they come on the show. I want to talk to Brian about oil, see if he can get any answers to that. All right, so right now, Meta upside, $250 in the money, Tesla $1.50 in the money, Alibaba $1. But this is what I'm going to get at right now. Look at Softy. Like right now, you're in this range. And I know when we were on that break there with Frank, Obi and I were talking about scalping, get back and forth, and I was like, yeah, as long as you're in this range and in that range, like you're still here, and we're still here on the futures, probably a decent strategy right now to scalp, and definitely do not let any of your trades get away from you, which is why we've had a stop order here for Apple. Like, look at this. This is range-bound trading, right? I need to find something that's moving. I see SoFi's back to VWAP. I'm getting attention from Trade Ideas. Make sure that you guys do look at Trade Ideas. Trader TV. Oh, it's on the board right there. Trader TV 20. Grab that as some of these scanners. And see, it's just alerted me that SoFi's back at VWAP, but guess what? It's kind of been at VWAP now for about an hour and a half or so. So hopefully this, well, not hopefully it breaks for anybody that's long, but this is not a bad trade here. SoFi breaking VWAP, coming back in. I actually think this is pretty reasonable, especially with the market coming back in a little bit right now. Kashkari, oh God, Kashkari speaking right now about inflation being under control and coming back down right now. So we'll have to see if that holds out. But SoFi, what I was getting at right there, did I call it up on the screen? No, I didn't, right? Right into there, into VWAP, looking for a little bit of a VWAP break down for SoFi. But again, the market's still upside. This is a trade where maybe you might want to get long on, but not much action, right? This is a 5-cent range in the last 40 minutes. So I'm going to pass on this. Oh, you want another one, animation?
Another one.
I have to find them for you, but there it is.
Another one.
Let's go golfing.
Another one.
Right there. Shout out to DJ Khaled, man. But this is another one. We hit Tesla once, twice, 3 times sold. Nice trade there, but it looks like it is having a hard time breaking out of its range right now, up to 266, 265. So do we just drop out of all of these longs? We're so well in the money on these right now that I don't really know. We only have 20% of each of these, so it's okay. Inflation is heading down, says Fed's Kashkari. So, okay. I think we know that, though. I mean, CPI is going to come and give us the exact answer that we need. But, you know, it's been trending the right way, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I took a quick scalp there, just trying to get out of it right quick. Yeah. Okay. So, like we said, just looking for the quick moves there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we kind of pop back up into this kind of a down range that we've had. I've had sells into the pops before and kind of covering into the lower end of the range, and it pops back up into the higher end of the range, comes back in, but it holds the 29.5, and I'm like, okay, well, that's good enough, and cover most of it. Have to chase the rest of it out there as we reclaim the 129.60. It's a bit of a quick reclaim. If the price action is going to continue in the range, I kind of expected it to come right back into 129.40s. We're only looking for a dime, but yeah, no, it kind of comes right back in, holds the half, and pushes right back up as I guess the NQ is not really getting anywhere, just a sideways consolidation. So I do want to stay as nimble as possible, respecting some of the buying pressure and on the short term that does kind of come in there. But yeah, just taking quick scalps there on the M zone today.
The only dip buy opportunity that I see. Shout out, thanks Ponzi Fonzie. Shout out to Christian MX there in the chat. Happy birthday to you. I hope it's a good one, as it always should be, right? When your birthday comes through, and your birthday's on 10/10. That's pretty cool. October 10th.
Yeah.
Not bad. Right there. Fall is my favorite season. Your favorite season, of course, is?
Winter.
Winter?
Yeah.
I thought with your like fishing escapades and everything like that, I was going to hear a summer.
No, I love summer as well, but it's pretty close. I just like the snowboarding. So
okay.
winter sports are fun.
Actually, I knew
yeah,
that.
Yeah, not a big fan of I guess
fishing?
ice fishing. Maybe been like once or twice, but no, I think my dad is the big ice fisherman. He goes fishing all season, so all year round.
Is that something that you picked up from your father?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. So
like that.
at a young age, he introduced me to
like
hunting
that.
and fishing, and yeah, no, we've been on some good hunting trips,
Good,
some
man.
fishing trips. So
Partridge or
pardon?
what are you hunting these days?
Well, I haven't been on a trip in a while, but the last time we went, we were hunting deer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you got to get those deer tags. Yeah, we were just talking about that being up in North Bay there. Partridge, I know a lot of people hunting up there as well. Okay, so printer incoming. That's what I'm thinking, man. I mean, I want this cash card to continue to talk about inflation being chilled out, and then I want to hear the word cut. I also want to hear the word Fed pivot as well, because these longs are cash money. Meta right now, $3 in the money as we continue to go to the upside on that one right now. But give a couple big shout outs here. I want to thank Obi, man. We only have a few more minutes, 45 minutes left in today, and then you join back Sharif on the midday show. You and Adair will split that up with Sharif, and then the man, myth, the legend, Mr. Neil Roberts will be back sitting in your desk tomorrow. So thank you.
His desk.
Put some. Sorry, his desk. Put some ones up in the chat for Obi. I'll start right now as we put that all up. We really enjoy having you on. Thank you for your calm, cool, and collectiveness, and some good talk as well. My net's just increasing here because we are getting some bump ups. The only name that I now feel stupid about, because I was just talking about getting long Google. I'm literally bidding 51s. It went to 53s. Like, as if, dude, we should have had 20 more pennies in our pocket right there. But we sleep on that one. Kind of reminds me of somebody. We sleep on that one and do not get that fill. We should have just crossed it and took the bid there and taken that in. Look at this, man. Everyone's loving you, Obi, there in the chat.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to everybody for that one. And again, another big thank you to you for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Anytime. You know that. AMC as well. Not really doing much. If we get a 20 break, great. I'm honestly, man, these aren't big positions at this time. All we're doing is we're actually waiting for this kind of a trade. Google to come back in. If Meta comes back in, we'd like to reload this. But Meta right now is taking out some of these highs. I'm sitting at Meta at 324.
Wow.
So if we can get back up there and make $4 on this trade, real trading, we'll take that. Like I want to hashtag real trading, I mean, I think that we talked about this a little bit as well. Be patient. Wait for trades to come in. And the reason why I talk about real trading is when you're scalping back and forth like this, getting trades into here, I understand that based on the platform, based on your fee structure, this kind of trading is pretty hard to do. And I was actually talking about this with Bears versus Bulls. I'm going to try to be a lot more patient and I think it's been working. It's just like all of these scalps in here, they work because see all these shorts? It works because when it blows up, I'm out, or I have limited shares left. There is a time and place to scalp, but I do understand that it's hard for a lot of the community here to take trades like that. Yeah. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to wait to see if we can get Google back in. It's part of why we have this trade on in Tesla. We were very, very patient. We waited for this. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what everybody in the chat wants. You know, Neil will trade some of these, you know, what was that one? SPCB. So, yeah, there it is. Okay. You know, take a dollar break, but then get out immediately, which is great. It works. Scalping works, you know, but not for everybody. So, you know, watching out for key levels and things like that, I think that's going to work out better for all of us. So let's just continue to do that. We have a big earnings season coming up, obviously kicking off on Friday there with the big banks starting right now. We had Pepsi come through. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of action, and I'm going to be here to trade it for you. I ain't going anywhere. So that's the one thing. I got to get better for myself, and I got to get better for everybody out there. And honestly, it's about providing you, you know, hopefully real life trades, and that's why I'm happy to be here and happy to continue with that one. Rivian, and then I get a lot of questions about Sticky Note, like which names do I like? I mean, this Boba trade is a one-hit wonder there. Rivian, the same thing, man. If you looked at that 20 level or bought the dip. I mean, Rivian was pretty simple. You know, we wanted the long. We wrote down in here, Rivian long. It just came in the morning. We let it settle down. My first trade, 945. I think I might put like a lock on my keyboard to not make any trades until 9:45 once we get some confirmation from all of this, because it has definitely been working out. So yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good time. Let's keep the good time rolling and put on some better trades and some good trades.
Yeah, a bit of a sell coming off of that 15.3. We're seeing it kind of show up in the SPY as well as Amazon here. I got Apple on watch as well, not really showing up there. Softy not really showing up there, but Alpha looks a little bit weak there. And again, Amazon still fading off of this kind of. We talked about there is a kind of a multi-time frame resistance in and around this area here, and we've only made lower highs off of that. Some strong selling coming in off of this same place. We were selling all of this price underneath that 130 and kind of churning that idea, not the position unfortunately, but yeah, it seems like that sell is coming in nice and hard. We talked about the structure on the NQ. We're literally just ping-ponging between 40 points there on the NQ. A little bit of indecisiveness, bit of a build-up, wind-up maybe for the close potentially, but definitely giving you that indecisiveness is definitely giving you some opportunities on some of these tickers, which are just kind of range bound as well, if you can get on the right side of those scalps. But yeah, no, we were talking about this earlier, just that scalping strategy, like it works well until it doesn't. Right, so it's like sizing has to be like on the fly. You got to be able to assess this type of size you should be taking in that moment on the fly as well. Kind of not really looking for the moon, but only looking for, I guess, just that move to kind of come in and just riding the buying pressure. Right, a lot of these scalps that I have now, there's different kind of scalps. There's a move to move scalp. There's like level to level scalp, and there's also like intra bar scalps as well, which is kind of what we're doing here, just getting in and out in the same bar here, just based off of kind of a quick tape read, quick momentum right there, with a lot of confluence as well, right? You got to have the confluence. Without that, you can't really be able to judge, I guess the changing probabilities, right? It's the confluence that gives you that perspective in terms of probabilistic change of the move, however way you view it, right? That's another skill as well that I'm trying to get better at. Again, realizing and actualizing that changing probability as it kind of unfolds and as that bigger picture move kind of comes in on the day. And I think again, I forget who said this, but a lot of the high probability moves, the level to level, the bigger picture moves, consists of tiny little, small little high probability moves as well, and all of building into that bigger picture play. Again, I remember Michael Noss said this first, and that kind of caught on, the fractal nature of trading. It kind of reflects that kind of concept there as well. So, I like that. But I don't really have too much on the board.
Took a new position.
What did you take there, Sean?
I mean, So here we go, man. In an attempt to talk about trades, we said we were going to take this long on Google when it came into 50s. So we took it, and then we got out now at 58s and 59s. So we're scalping out probably half of the position because, like we said, we're still in this range. So as long as that happens, my stop is 10 cents lower than this fill, so 40. So if we break lower, we're gonna get out of this. So when it goes up to there, we'll take some out. We didn't take out everything. We just talked about that. So let's see, we took out half. Let's see where we go now on this move back up for Google. You know, next stop, maybe in the 70s if we can get it. And let's just see what's going on. I'm hearing in my ear, Kashkari still blah, 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 blah. Still talking, he's optimistic that we can get back to pre-crisis levels here on the Fed balance sheet. We'll see about that. Job market has been more resilient than I would have guessed. Okay, good guess. You know, every time the Fed guesses something, take it the other way. Remember, this guy's Minneapolis Fed. This is not Jerome Powell or anything like that. You know, there's only certain people that we really do. Oh God, here we go.
The reversion man.
Oh, Jerome. Oh. Man, these guys, such teases right there. But let's go. We're going to wait to see this. Also, I think it's, I don't know who's speaking, but they talked. And again, I'm just hearing some things. They're not going boots to the ground or anything like that, apparently, in Israel, which is going to be great for U.S., you know. I think that's a great sign. Let's just see what this all means, though. The wartime talk really hasn't hit the market yet. We heard that with Frank. We've seen it in the market right now. So let's just, honestly, I mean, this is not political or religious, but let's just pray that everything can eventually get all settled down on both sides of all this, and we can get back to trading the markets, right? And not having to worry. Well, part of trading the markets is worrying about outside influences. So here we go. Okay, Google. Like I said, we're going to work on getting out of half of this right now. So we'll take some 60s, some 61s, some 62s. And honestly, man, had a little bit more hair in that picture. As we go back up to the upside.
Yeah, a bit of a consolidation break up on Softy as well, and Apple. You see that?
Yeah. Did I see that? Yeah. I mean, I'm in this, baby.
Oh, you're in Apple.
No, I'm not in Apple.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're in the push.
You're in Google. We're still in this.
Nice.
But the reason why I said that about Apple, sorry, is we got out. So that was our level. So as it broke, we got out. We'll take $1. We'll put that in our pocket. Celebrate the Dollar Club win there on Apple. We had $2 down there. We'll give a little bit back up as we go back up to the upside, and more out on Google because, hey, guys, we're already at 1-to-1, and we talked about it. Going into that scalp mentality, you got to have it. So there it is. We'll take some more out there. Now we are officially out of half of that trade, and I like it. I like it a lot. Google, we were looking for some dip buys. Look, it didn't come in anywhere else, right? Didn't come into Tesla. Didn't come into Meta, not even close to Meta. So, you know, we'll have to wait on it. I'm getting nervous about Meta, man. We were waiting at 323, 324, 323.95. Hopefully that can come in as well. We're slowly just making a little bit of cash here on a lot of these positions that we're holding. Alibaba's trying to trickle up side again a little bit now. And then Rivian's kind of just put me to sleep a bit right now. But we'll go props up to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being such a great community. And thank you for continuing to support it. Havana Woody had a good idea there. I don't have problems doing like a small account challenge. We're gonna have to take a little bit away from the account if we're gonna do that. But I guess the idea would be that we play off of a couple trades a day. I'm gonna have to change my complete style to do that, so I'm not willing to do that right away, but I think we could maybe have, and this is something that Brendan and myself, we can all talk about, you know, maybe doing a small account challenge type of thing. You know, where we can broadcast out every couple days or whatever, a position that, you know, that we like for a swing trade or even a daily account one. Someone asked me right on my sticky note, what are the best ideas on the sticky note? It's generally, let me call it up. It's generally the first name that I write down. Today, it's just going to work out like that. Obviously, people are going to say, well, of course he picks the first one. Yeah, but you know, it's generally the first name that's right here. So today was 86.50 on BABA. Then we had Google long today, which didn't work through, well, it didn't get there, 139.16. That Google I wrote there, but then it was BABA, Meta, and Apple So the Apple long 179 failed. Meta was a great long at 320. It's what we have on right now. That's $3 in the money, so that's a good one. And Alibaba was good. Palantir we looked at for news. And Rivian. Look what this says for Rivian. Can you read what that says there, Obi?
Dip buy.
Dip buy on Rivian, right? So again, it's not, the sticky note's completely free. Follow me at TraderTV Sean. But could you explain to me what this was then, Obi, right here?
That looks like a dip buy, Sean.
Right, exactly. Nice. So thank you for that, Obi. Right there. This is funny. The watch goes from, look at this. Look at the watch here.
Oh, yeah?
It's like a magic trick.
Nice. How do you
right.
do that so fast? Like,
It's magic. I just said magical.
Okay, all right,
Don't ask
all right,
questions
okay.
about magic.
Sorry.
You know, they're never going to get the answer. But there it is. So we stayed away early. Those were great dip buys, but you don't really know that in the first couple minutes. So we let it dip back into VWAP. Buy it. Nice upside move. And Brian Shannon, Alpha Trends, told me, when you miss the gap, trade off VWAP.
huh.
So when a stock is going to gap one way or the other, like Rivian this morning was up a
That
couple
makes sense. I think there's some logic into that.
Yeah, there's
Well, I didn't hear what his argument for that was.
There's
but-
no argument, man. It's just we're CMT, we're trading off technicals.
Yeah.
When a stock gaps down, wait for something to develop, like a daily VWAP coming in, hit that level, and then trade off of it. Look, when you're data mining, you're going to find 10 examples that work, 10 that don't work. But play the strong names. Definitely double check your own trades and make sure that you. And I mean, look, there's no one. I mean, there's reasons why, Obi. I mean, you're the last one here every single day, so you're double checking your work, and I think that's important, right? So, kind of answering our own questions there. When will it work? You know, double check the plays.
Yeah.
So as we go, man, Google's a nice one. We took some out of that. Rivian still working. Rivian now 45 cents. Nice little pop there on Rivian. I'm thinking we just clear this out. Do we get back to the day's high, or is this recent high the high on Rivian? 89s. All right, 85s. Look, I'm gonna. What time? Oh shoot! It's already 3:30.
3:30. Yeah. I mean, that's
Wow. When you're having fun, my guy, time goes by pretty fast here. So I'm going to put an offer at 84 on Rivian. Hopefully we get it. And whoopsies. And hopefully it's pretty obvious why. We have the recent highs there all afternoon. We've bounced off 80 numerous times. So looks like it's happening again. We may have missed our opportunity. Let's get a little bit of a bump up there in Rivian and take that out. We know that our meta out is up here at 324. So we'll wait for all that.
So I think I started looking at the DXY because you pointed it out.
Yep.
Was it
filled on
today's
okay.
today's Tuesday? I'm losing track of the week already. It's a blur. But yesterday you pointed out the DXY.
Yep.
Now I don't know if this works on the DXY, but I'm seeing a bit of a trend here. We kind of started selling off last Tuesday, actually about a week ago. And so take a look at this right here. Nobody wants to join me on that. That's fine. Right there. So bit of a range trend to the downside there on the DXY. Now I don't necessarily know too much about the DXY, but when I see a trend, I see a trend, and maybe it has something to do with supply, demand, and mechanics. But we're kind of locked into this range trend. So maybe going forward, since I guess the dollar is definitely in play, we should be definitely aware of some of this action that's been happening from last week, right? We were kind of trending up pretty strongly, and it seems like we are a bit of a break of this trend here. Very, very strong here. When did this start? Actually, in July, it would seem a bit of a trend up off of this 100 level, and a bit of a range trend to the downside from last week, kind of coming in. I kind of have some of these levels as well. Now, I don't know if can you use support and resistance levels on the DXY? Like, I don't necessarily trade any forex or anything like that, or currencies as to say, but I think that like a lot.
To answer that question?
Yes.
Yeah, because no, and I don't mean to interrupt. It's just it's a simple answer. The more guests that we have on this after show, like yesterday we had Adrian Zadunchuk, Forbes 30 under 30.
Right.
The guy's a CMT, and I asked him straight up, "Do you ever trade any equities?" He said no. He only focuses on the big crypto names, especially Ethereum and BTC. And then you have a guy like Michael Noss on there. Sometimes I'm seeing his podcast or what he's doing online. Sometimes he'll have a show on BTC, followed by talks on rates, followed by talks on equity. I mean, he talks equity when he comes on our show. He's gonna, you know, especially on the recap show as well, and once a week on our show in the morning time, Michael Noss comes on and talks all about that. So I really feel like, yeah, you can really use whatever you want to use as an indicator for anything. And I think that that's important as long as you trust that indicator and you use the same methodology, Obi, to get in and to get out. Yeah. You know, like if you're saying this is a key level on the DXY, it's the same key level on Tesla. Same, like you trade off of those levels because it's what you're looking at. How am I making money here? What exactly is happening? Okay, it's, I know, it's a stupid, that sounds stupid, but I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting any other fills here. But what's been happening is slowly grinding up here on Meta trying to go. So that's been helping out. Tesla, you know, these wicks have wicked down. Like all of a sudden, and this is the funny thing, like you could say Tesla's doing nothing, but this bottom and where we are now is 80 cents. So I was like, I'm still holding on to a piece, and I'm like, okay, that's what the difference is like it's looking like nothing's happening when you're zooming out, but realistically, we are getting some nice pushes here, back up to some of these trades, back up to the upside. This Google is really, honestly, see, like, so now, like now I've given this a chance. Google, I've given you a chance, bro, and you're not going. So put on, back on, scalper hat a little bit. Let's take something out here, back into 10-cent win category if we can get that back up. I don't know why I'm calling it a win. It's not a win. These are profit-taking spots. I mean, you can have losing trades, but winning trades, it's just a matter of like, this is my job. So I'll just feel a successful trade rather than winning trade at some point, right? So anyways, let's put our scalping hat back on. We only have a few minutes. Brendo, what is the, let me just check out the imbalance. 32 million to buy. There it is, look at that. All right, let's go. Which hand will the watch end on? Ooh, right hand, right there, but there it is. There's the scalp out again, 10 cents. We got out of 59s there as it's fading back in. That may be all we have to do right now. Market trying to do some moves, but hey man, we're just flying by the seat of our pants right now, hoping that this market can get back up to the upside. Not that much is happening. Oh yeah, by the way, let's go and do this right now because we don't have...
Like and subscribe today.
Oh, you have Neil's thing. Do you see something on there that says Sharif likes?
Yep.
Like, subscribe, and share the show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
I keep forgetting to do that because Sharif actually made us put it in his contract. You know, that we hit it. What was that? Oh yeah, Sharif said hit it again, actually. Hit it again.
Okay, yeah.
Boom. Like, subscribe, and share the show that takes
So
you
what,
into the heart of the market.
he gets paid every time it pops up on the screen?
No. He refuses to come to work if we don't play that at least 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay. So
What's
minimum
the thing
requirement
there?
for presidents.
And
okay.
of course, if you think that Sharif's messaging me, then you're wrong. I mean, he's at the gym right now. There it is. Hit it one more time, then that'll be our 3rd time.
Wow, 3rd time's a charm,
Yep.
actually?
Go ahead, yeah.
Not a different one? Okay.
Like,
all right,
subscribe, and share the show that takes you into the
Have we met the quota for today?
Yes, that's why we just did it.
All
right
right,
there.
cool,
So that was
nice.
3 times right there. So contract funding secured. So there we go. So
Well
Sharif, yeah, next. It's a little funnier when he's here when we're doing
Right,
it.
right,
but
right.
As long as Ramin's over there laughing and I see some LOLs in the chat, then I'm a happy man. Okay, so let's go. Google's fading back out a little bit. I'm wondering if we are getting close to...
A bit of VWAP trouble there on Softy.
Oh, I'm not in Softy. You want to talk about it? Because I'm thinking about just dropping out of this meta right now. There's not that much time left. This is 322.57. Guys, I'm probably just going to put $2 in my pocket. A break back down below 322.50. Let's do this together right now, just so everyone can see. 322.48, 100%. The stop order is now in on Meta, guys. We're going to put $2 in our pocket, Obi, because honestly, day's coming short right now,
Yep.
and I don't need that imbalance to be the wrong way, and then whap, everything,
Yeah, exactly.
dissolves.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So I am observing Softy here. We looked at that 330, 331-ish area yesterday and today, and we talked about this kind of this opening range low here at that 328. And again, kind of some of these levels, Sean, they're defining themselves. That 320 on Meta, this 328, 327
is live
on Microsoft here, and take a look at that. You get that. that quadrunk, and look at where it shows up again. That 328 kind of coming in as well. Gives it to you a second time, and it pulls back into VWAP, that 328, showing itself as both support and resistance as well. So yeah, that 328 looking kind of key there. We're pushing. We were looking like we're having a bit of trouble on VWAP there, but it seems like we're in a bit of a chop and churn here. Look at the NQs, kind of retesting that 15.3 we talked about. Kind of what we're going to do here with this range. It seems like we're going to be waiting for the last 15-minute candle here to really to see, even if we break that range or stay within the range or we close right here. Who knows? But it seems like Softy's kind of holding underneath that VWAP. Let's take a look at Apple as well. Apple holding underneath VWAP as well. Google also holding underneath VWAP, now selling off of this kind of consolidation low as well. So Google looking a little weaker, maybe giving us some direction there as well. Let's take a look at Amazon. We're already watching that. Also underneath that VWAP. Yeah, Sean saying he feels like shorting Apple. I don't think when a lot of things are kind of struggling with that VWAP and we're pulling back off of that 15.3, maybe a quick scalp short is not too bad of an idea there. But yeah, let's take a look at NVIDIA as well. I know we'll take a look at Meta and Tesla as well. So NVIDIA holding above VWAP, a little different there. That 460 coming in as well. 462 kind of this area interesting there. We break out. Can't really get too far past some of these weak highs there. Only about a few points to the upside, and then you come in and consolidate on top of VWAP. Let's see what our friend Meta is doing. Meta, that 320. Oh, wow. Take a look at that. Yeah, I think we already talked about this, but yeah, that 320 really showing itself here going forward during the week. Let's see if Meta can hold above that 320. Maybe the bids have stepped up from that 300 defense into that 320 as well. Did we take a look at Tesla? I don't think so. Tesla as well. Tesla 270 as well. 270 resistance, but we talked about that 262 kind of being key, and we're hovering only about 2 points above that. Underneath VWAP, we did get a pop in through VWAP, that 265, kind of a failure to follow through into that 265, and comes right back into VWAP and starts consolidating again. So yeah, it could go either way. I'm closely watching this consolidation here on the NQs to see if we pick a direction into the close, or whether we're just going to stay in this kind of chop and do nothing and close right around here. And yeah, I think both price action. I'm not really gonna fight it there, but I'm curious to know and see where we result, where the day kind of ends up resulting into. So that's on watch as well. Got the SPY. We can talk about the SPY as well. Let's pull that up real quick. All right, so yeah, SPY, we talked about that 433, kind of yesterday's high as well, and pre-market consolidation, kind of an over-under level. You come in, you hold that 433, blast to the upside, but now we're seeing kind of a similar story there on that quadrunk. We kind of fall back below VWAP and kind of consolidating underneath that VWAP as well. I'm curious to know if that 14.3 also shows up as VWAP on the NQs. Yeah, okay, so that just above VWAP there. VWAP being, well, depending on where you're putting your VWAP off of. I think mine is just anchored to the beginning of the session there, and my VWAP here is just at 15.275 ish, 278. So we're consolidating on top of VWAP as well on the NQs. So an interesting look. A lot of VWAP interactions going into the close there. And yeah, we were talking about that gapping VWAP strategy. Why I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, was like, okay, well, we know a lot of institutional traders and a lot of big players like to get involved in and around VWAP, right? And if something is gapping up or down, and that could be caused by a catalyst, that could be caused by whatever.
Yep.
Larger parties kind of pushing that move to happen, if that printed in the after hours or in the pre-market, and guess where they might come back in if they do want that position, if they do want to delev or get in on that position, VWAP. So I think that makes so much sense to me, where if you do get a gap and then you see it coming into VWAP, right, and then you see the VWAP respecting maybe you have some confluence, maybe you have some tailwind from bigger players as well on that move. So I think that that gap in VWAP, I'm definitely going to be keeping that in mind.
Good.
For
Good.
sure.
Well, I hope we can all
like
learn
that.
something from everybody, our guests, our hosts, everybody like that. Let's go over to the desk.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah. People in the chat were telling me to look at Netflix.
I know. I
Look
saw
at that.
Netflix breaking through that 375, man. It had that bad
Wild.
subscriber number there as far as their ad-supported tier. We did get a warning about that. I think it was it a month ago or so? Or maybe even less than that. We had a big swoosh down. But there we go, man. We'll just hit the sign because we are now out of Google. And again, we talked about getting out every time and coming back up. So, maybe this last reload, and this is the problem. When you're scalping off levels, like that's a win, right? That's hard to deny that. That's a win right there. I mean, nothing's lower. And then we get out of half, that's a win, and then we drop it. So net, probably an L when you're considering in fees and everything like that. But that's really close. I mean, I even announced that we were out at half as well for that 10 cents. And then there's the break. Look, you can see it's 40s. That's the break. Now, it's not going to look good. That's back up to 46. But, hey, that is what it is. I do not want to get out of Tesla. We only have 5 minutes now until those imbalances come out. I'm not going to get out of Tesla. I just feel like the volatility in this name has to come back at some point. If the market really blasts up, I do think we can get this 265.50, 266 level. So I'll let this fade out and then hit me out here on the downside for this. We only have 20% left on this name, or even less. Well, I'm looking, it's 20%. So whatever it was, I don't know where. One of these must have been 10 and one of them must have been 15 because we do have some more outs there as it comes back. But anyways, 265, that was a great out there, right back in ahead of VWAP. Then we busted through a little bit there. I believe that's when Biden was either finished or just starting. I can't remember when he started again. But either way, that was at about 250 where we made that move. So there it is, Google, nice little downside push. Rivian.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That VWAP respect all day. You just
I mean, there it is right there. We had it right there, and then we just got it back out at, a recent high. And we talked about that level. I didn't even realize that just came out. But there it is, a nice pop up right into that level. I mean, if the high is going to be 89, we will take 83, 84 all day long. And then there's what you're talking about, VWAP reload, VWAP reload, VWAP reload. And you had to have given it this time, 8 or so cents, probably both ways. So anyways, good out right there. Good out, it seems like, for Google as that continues to go lower. We may have to do a dance here on Alibaba, including 87.16 right there. So let's put in that stop order now for everybody. I don't even have a stop order on Alibaba because we are so far away from anything. So let's put a stop order right there. Let's not let it drip all the way. Let's just get out at 87.16 break. So again, I trust this key. It's like an auto flatten position from our software. It wasn't working great until I started using it. And then I gave some complaints to our dev, and that's how it works. I haven't had a misstep with this key yet. So 87.14. And the thing I like about this, look, 25.50. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm changing right here how much we're getting out. So that's 75%, 25, 100 P if we break out down below, again, this local area of support. So only a couple minutes left, Obi, then we're going to get this number coming through. So if you want to have a quick look, right now, no, I guess that means paired off. We've had an N there before. I thought this meant neutral, like it's going to come out paired. So Palantir, again, strange with the N there already pre-market. That's or pre-imbalance. It shouldn't be there, but looks like there's going to be some action on Palantir there. Bank of America, Pfizer. These are all very low numbers. So in just a couple of seconds, we will get that imbalance to come through. So let's pay attention for that at 350. What else? You don't have anything on?
No, I'm looking at Netflix, Compass RX and Renata, a bunch of people in the chat talking about Netflix, and yeah, that sell-off has been quite a sell-off there, distinctly different from what some of these other tech names are doing. And I think Sean alluded to the fact that they may have some subscriber number troubles or something like that. And yeah, no, we've gotten a pretty steady fade out the open. This consolidation was what time was this? It was around 1 o'clock there where this consolidation kind of started. And a lot of the other consolidations and a lot of these other tech names here, we did kind of rebid a little bit off of that, but Netflix definitely catching a bit of a sell as well. I just want to take a look at this. I did make a note in my notebook here just to maybe be a little bit more astute as to what Netflix is going to be doing this week. So let's take a look at a quick higher time frame real quickly there, just to see if there's any levels or any sort of trends or price action that we might want to be aware of here. And first thing I see right away, if we're going to continue this selling and this sell sentiment is going to keep us fading right here, this 368 level, we're about 6 points away from there at 374 kind of trading right now. But yeah, that 368 kind of double bottom support where we did get a bit of a blast off on Netflix. We're kind of headed right back down towards that 375. Yeah, sure, it was a consolidation earlier, but yeah, no, once that consolidation gets violated and you push back down below that 370, that's definitely these prices are definitely kind of within range. Let's say within range for sure. So let's take a look at the daily there as well and see if we can kind of come up with a bit of a trend. So yeah, take a look at what we're breaking off of here. That 480 kind of comes in, can't really get all the way to 500. You have some high volume bars in and around this earnings report, and we've only been selling off here. A bit of a lick grab on the larger time frame as well. 450 gives you about a what is it? It's about a 30-40 point lick grab over the course of a couple of days, and then quadunk off of earnings. So maybe this level right here, this 446, 440 there, being sold off quite heavily, and we kind of break this consolidation as well. Underneath that 400, you get back below this 400, which was kind of this support for this range on Netflix, kind of an over-under. You can see that these prices, well, I'd give it more 380, but yeah, no, some distinct hold on that 400. You break back below it, and yeah, you catch a bit of a sell on a multi-day move back to the downside, and sure, a little bit of a catalyst of bad news can definitely help that selling and print that chart out for you. And looking left a little bit further, that 325 seems like this is where we kind of consolidated and got that push up towards that 500. So if Netflix wishes to pull back, and if Netflix has a bit of a sell sentiment over the next few weeks, I think just looking left, a bit of a support there, 345, 350. Of course, you're going to have bus stops along the way, but that 325 really, I like that consolidation before we really start to get some volume pushing the move back up towards that 500 level on Netflix. So yeah, let's see what are the imbalances right there. I was talking a little too much there, and I missed the imbalance there, Sean.
Yeah, it was 560 to sell. I was saying imbalances were out, but it
Sorry,
doesn't.
I got a little carried away. I got a little too excited.
No, that's not carried away. I'll show you carried away. Okay, so right now, not much, right? It was, sorry, I don't know if I said that loud enough. 560 to sell. So a little bit of a sell side imbalance, but like, let's just slap this. You know, like this is, I should have just rebate traded futures. Is that possible? Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So very, very range bound here. We were waiting for Biden to come. He did. He didn't really, he delivered. Apparently it was a pretty good speech from what I'm seeing on these news wires, but didn't say anything out of the ordinary. And right now the market is just like kind of wait and see. I'm guessing they're waiting for the bank earnings. Like we know that there's more economic numbers coming through, so you're gonna get PPI, CPI, and then plus November 1st, which is still a ways away, is the next time. And you can't just sit here and say like, oh, well, we're gonna wait for CPI to move, then we're gonna wait for this, then we're gonna wait for the rate hike. Every day is a brand new day. Look at Amazon, even Amazon, 700,000 shares sell, okay, no effect right there at all. So that's the imbalance locator. It doesn't seem like it's super attractive to me to make any trades off of. But there goes Meta. This is why we get out. So let's go, man. Let's go bang. One more. And let's see what's up to Brendan there. I almost said Baron. That's my kid. But there it is. A big shout out there. I don't know why we don't do it enough right there. So we got out at 322.50 there, right? Why be part of this move? So now that I'm saying that, Tesla also trying to break. If Tesla breaks below, right now we're going to cancel our Tesla stop, which is unbelievable. It wasn't even that far against us right there. And we will put in a stop on Tesla, 263.47, a break on that one, and we are out. So if we break lower on Tesla, unfortunately, we were waiting for the dream, but we did good on this trade. I can't complain about it, that's for sure. Alibaba's about to come out soon, I guess. Yep, a little bit of a breakdown. So into that sell imbalance, you are seeing that now the NASDAQ's waking up a little bit. If there was more time in the day, I'd probably buy this move down right now because we have support. But again, without that much happening, we're going to hold off on buying anything right now. In just a couple minutes, I'll pass it off to Obi in about 3:56, 3:57. He'll take it into the close. I'll go set up for the recap show, but make sure that you do join, man. Traders stay late, and that's what we do every single day. So here it is right here. Big shout out. Thanks for for posting this up. Right now, we're going to have Brian Shannon coming on board. Traders stay late. There's the hashtag. Hashtag it if you're coming on board. We'll be live for about 30 minutes. It always goes a little longer than that. And we will be there 30 to 40 minutes, 35 minutes right there into the close. ARM. Yeah, I just heard from Kashkari in my ear that he's nervous about consumers and the savings that they all have loaded up right now. We know that credit card purchases are at record highs right now, and debt hitting credit card companies also at near-term highs anyways. I don't know if it's high right now or where we've been at, but there it is right there. ARM, nicely done, man. ARM right back up to its recent highs of 56 bucks. So again, if you played off some of these dips in ARM, look at VWAP hold. Wow. VWAP trade, VWAP trade, VWAP trade, VWAP trade, all the way back into ARM, taking out some of those highs into the day. Alibaba comes out there, perfect. That's a great trade off the open, man. And then Tesla, we're still $1 in the money, waiting to see if anything happens there.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at some of these names here. I think was it CompSRX was Netflix covered. I was like, yeah, nice. With the way this thing's been selling off and with the way everybody was shouting it out, definitely a lot of players short this name for sure. Nice trade there for sure. Pulling back into the 370s, catching a bit of. Take a look at this volume right there. Damn. Okay, going into the close, I see you. All right, okay, so that 372 kind of holding right now. Great, I guess good reasons to cover right before the inbound, kind of going into the end of the day after we've had quite a significant sell-off there. I was queuing up to kind of sell some more Amazon here as we did sell that. I did notice that every time we kind of pushed into here, we got quite a strong and significant sell-off, about what is this, about 20, 25 pennies roughly back down into the 129.4, and I was like, okay, we're grinding up into the inbound. I want to see if these sellers, what happens to these sellers that off of that inbound, and we kind of wick that price and then come right back in to that 129.40, giving you that move once again. So I think that was pretty interesting, kind of confluence with that 15.3 range towards 15.260 as well on the NQs. We talked about whether or not or where this is going to potentially close. One of the options, or one of the ideas was we were just going to close in this range, right? So it seems like this range is not necessarily going to break with about 4 minutes left until the bell there. Yeah, the NQ and both the NQ and the ES just teetering well within their range. So yeah, let's do a quick recap of the large caps today. See where they have been, where they were, and where they ended up today. Apple, bit of a shake and bake there, kind of printing the same prices there. Seems like we're going to be closing right at the open on Apple as well. I don't know what the opening price was on Apple today. Let's take a quick look at the day chart. Today's open was 178.10, and let's see where we're trading right now. We're trading right at 178.28. So pretty much going to be a flat day there in terms of open and close for Apple. So take a look at that. Bit of a strong selling coming in. A lot of my tape printing dark reds as I guess people are crossing the bid to get out or to sell, regardless of long or short. I don't know. I don't want to make that assumption, but definitely people crossing into the bid there today. But yeah, no, definitely some decent opportunities there. We can take a quick review on this Amazon as well. What we did today out the open, not the best, definitely not in sync, being very aggressive on the shorts here, and we kind of get stopped out into an exhaustion. Definitely not the best trade on the first trade on the day as well. I did come in with a little bit of a bias and got very aggressive with that bias. So that's something I do have to fix. But we flip the script, we turn on that scalp mode, and kind of paint the chart a little bit there. Just taking quick tape scalps and just long and short both ways, just going off of the tape pressure. Missed this move here. A lot of reasons to sell up here in the 130 halves as well, and it kind of comes back in. Now, something of note, just like a lot of the other names that kind of came back into some of their significant support levels, Amazon came into 129.10 and held that bid and kind of consolidated all day. So going forward during the week, I'm going to definitely be watching this 129.10 as well. On the day. So nothing too crazy there. Did get too aggressive there with some bad habits in the morning, but we flipped the script and make it back. Going to be going forward this week. I will be watching this consolidation range with about 30 seconds left for the bell. I just want to say thank you everyone for spending your day with us here. If you've watched the whole show, and yeah, hopefully you've learned a thing or two of what to do, what not to do. You know, we're just trading out here live, and with about 15 seconds left, we got Dara on the bell, and now I do know my countdown timer does work. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is closed. Thank you for spending your day with us. Thank you, everyone, again. And off to the big desk with Brendo and Sean. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.
Obi not fooling around there with the instant throw. You know, what I noticed was Obi he's just a man of many words, but very quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to throw it?
Trigger. No, it's all good, my guy. I'm just trying to log in. Welcome.